what is Maharlika Fund profile?
Sure. Maharlika Investment Corporation is 100% loan. You will be able to achieve the kind of investment returns out of your portfolio.
はい、皆さんこんにちは。フィリピンアセットコンサルティングの家田です。今日はですね、皆さんがですね、非常に関心のあるですね、マハリカインベストメントファンド、についてですね、今日はマハリカインベストメントファンドの CEO のですね、ラファエル・ホセ・コンサルさんに、今日お越しいただきまして、いろいろマハリカインベストメントファンドのことをお聞きしていただきます。I just say hello to our audiences and many Japanese business persons have a big attention to the Maharlika investment fund. So I want to ask you about the many things about Maharlika investment fund. Firstly, could you introduce yourself first?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Rafael Consing, and I'm the President and CEO of Maharlika Investment Corporation. And I have been CEO since November of 2023.
So before you became the CEO of Maharlika Investment, what did you briefly what did you do? What did you carry out?
Yes. So prior to that, I was for about 11 months working at the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Investment and Economic Affairs.
I see.
And that was really a presidential delivery unit created by President Ferdinand Marcos, whose responsibility it was to assist foreign direct investors navigate Philippines investments. So I did that for about 11 years. And before that, I was for about 34 years in private sector. Correct. About 16 years in a company called International Container Terminal Services Incorporated, which is a global port operator. And I was Chief Financial Officer for 8 years in that company, and I joined as treasurer 16 years before that. And but before that, I was a banker. For 18 years. And my last role was managing director for HSBC, based in Hong Kong.
So you are in Hong Kong?
I was actually in Hong Kong and in Singapore for HSBC. Correct. Yes.
I see. Thank you. Okay, so I want to start to hear about the Maharlika investment fund.
Sure.
Firstly, could you let us know what is Maharlika fund profile?
Sure. So let me start first by answering the question, what is Maharlika Investment Corporation? So Republic Act number 11954, which was passed in July of 2023, created the Maharlika Investment Fund, or the Maharlika Investment Corporation. Maharlika Investment Corporation was created solely to manage the Maharlika Investment Fund. And it basically was meant to, we were given two mandates. The first mandate is to achieve an optimal return, rate of return on our investment. And second is to help the government achieve its socio-economic development objectives, particularly job creation. Second is to help sustain the high economic growth of the country, and third is to promote sustainable development.
I see. Okay, so the Maharlika Investment Corporation, Maharlika Investment Fund, who are the owner, who are the capital?
Yes.
At the start.
Yes. So Maharlika Investment Corporation is 100% government.
100% government.
That's about 75 billion pesos out of the 125 billion came from two banks, Development Bank of the Philippines and Land Bank of the Philippines. In addition to that, the government has then committed to contribute another 50 billion pesos. So 125 billion pesos in total will be our seed capital.
Okay. So the 100% government-owned fund. So what is the relationship and the linkage with the government and the Maharlika Investment Fund?
Yeah, so Maharlika Investment Corporation, or Maharlika Investment Fund, is really a strategic tool.
Strategic tool.
Correct. by the government, again, to achieve socioeconomic development. And it basically, our main objectives are, apart from what I basically mentioned, from the perspective of the private sector, I think we've got two particular objectives. One is to provide capital for industries, to enable industries that requires a significant amount of investment. And second is to crowd in private capital into these investments.
Okay.
So what we don't want to do, what we are not basically, is we don't like to compete with the private sector, but instead we want to work with them in enabling industries.
I see. In my understanding, the Maha Rika Investment Fund, Maha Rika Investment Corporation is a government, as a government fund as a start, but it's split and independent from politics.
Yes, correct. That's absolutely right. So we have no political interference. Our governance is private sector led. We have a board of 9 board seats.
9 board.
Yes.
Okay.
Of which 5 are coming from the private sector.
5, right?
Yes. 3 are government coming from the agency. So Department of Finance Secretary is the chairman. The President of Land Bank of the Philippines. The President of Development Bank of the Philippines. Myself. That's 4 out of 9.
Okay.
And the rest of the 9 are from the private sector.
Okay. So private sector from where? The private sector is.
Okay, so if you look at the composition, private sector, local Filipino individuals, but with very strong track record in their respective fields. If you look at the composition today of the board, we have Mr. Felipe Ramon Reyes would lead that. He is the founder of Reyes Tacondon, which is an audit firm. The second would be Mr. Andrew Gan, Mr. Andrew Jerome Gan. He's a portfolio manager, and he was connected at some point in time with banks such as with JP Morgan.
Exactly.
Yes. No, he's a fund manager.
Fund manager.
The third one is Miss Vicky Levitan. Vicky was for a very long time at the ADB, Asian Development Bank. Correct. So very, very strong developmental expertise, developmental economics, and also developmental lending expertise. And the next one is attorney Herman Lichalco. He's a senior partner in one of the largest law firms in the Philippines.
I see.
So the composition, and we still have a 5th seat that has yet to be filled. So we're currently interviewing, where the president is going to be interviewing, or I beg your pardon, the advisory body is going through resumes to determine who can take the next points.
I see. Thank you. So could you tell us the number of the capital, how much you prepared for this?
Yes. Total seed capital is 125 billion.
125 billion peso.
Yes. That's right.
I see. Okay. So, could you tell us more detail about the what investment policy and what area do you consider to put the money from Maha Rika?
Yes. So, based on our studies, we believe that for the first 5 years of the fund, we will be investing 100% locally, most likely. And it's really due to quite a number of reasons. Number one, we feel we've identified what we call multi-generational drivers. Multi-generational value drivers. So, and we've identified the sectors which we feel will generate significant value over generations. And the second is we've determined those which we feel will be able to generate a return that will allow us to recover the opportunity lost from using the capital instead of spending it today, actually investing for the future. So we believe that by focusing on many of those sectors, we will be able to achieve the kind of investment returns that we are looking at, simply because of the significant amount of demand that can be met by entering into these sectors. At the same time, it also will help us meet socioeconomic development goals that we've set ourselves. And these sectors are number one, energy security. So I think that's one of the most important investment themes for this one. So energy security. The other one is what we call PDS infrastructures.
PDS.
Physical, digital, and social infrastructure. So when I talk about physical infrastructure, I speak of roads, toll roads, toll bridges, airports, physical infrastructure. Digital infrastructure basically means building rural digital infrastructure in order to give certain sectors the ability to catch up. So we want to be able to assist, for example, the agricultural sector by giving them access to digital infrastructure. Second is the educational sector in the rural areas. And third, through this, by providing digital infrastructure in our rural areas, apart from helping the agriculture and the education sector, we can also assist rural entrepreneurs to give them access to the national market or international market by giving them access to a platform, for example. And fourth would be to assist in medical care. Today, the Philippine, the doctor per population ratio is 1 doctor per 26,000 Filipinos. 26,000.
26,000.
Correct.
It's really
It's
low.
bad. It's actually very low.
Okay.
So what you want to be able to do is to be able to support that by providing the digital infrastructure so that someone can start offering telehealth care
Oh, I see.
that can then assist these doctors reach gain or provide better medical services to these constituents.
I see. Interesting.
Okay, so the next one would be social infrastructure. In social infrastructure, would be two things: focusing on education and healthcare.
Education and healthcare.
Yes. So education, we want to be able to assist government build more classrooms. We think that, from my perspective, EdTech might be too early for someone like Maha Rika, because it's pretty much a startup industry, and we will not get into that. But rather, we will provide them the digital infrastructure in order for the startup to be able to offer their services to this market. But then, just going back in terms of the classrooms, we want to be able to help government build those classrooms. And then from a healthcare perspective, we want to build primary clinics. Primary clinics. So that's, we believe that the primary healthcare market requires some level of investments.
Oh, I see. Thank you. So you talk about the return, and also you have Maha Rika investment have a more public and social development purposes.
Yeah.
So how do you match between the needs of the social development and make a proper level of return? How do we consider that?
Sure. So I think you must start with the premise that providing social services need not be a losing proposition. And really, it's a type of services that you can structure. For example, the reason why we feel that healthcare will do well despite bringing it in the rural areas is because of the country's universal healthcare law, which will now allow us to go to the likes of PhilHealth Corporation to basically help the population pay for their medical services. So that's one way by setting this structure. So by so doing, we get our return coming from the payments being made by PhilHealth, but at the same time, we're able to reach the marginalized part of the population and providing them quality medical services. So that's one example.
Oh, okay.
That you can see.
I see.
There are many numerous examples.
I see. Pure standard private equity funds show our kind of a target return percentage or something that what do you show your?
We keep that to ourselves. We keep that to ourselves.
We
keep that very confident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So the back to the return to the investor it's one of the primary purposes.
Oh yes. In fact, that first. That's the primary. That is the primary. Yes. Because we're fund.
Okay.
We will manage other people's money. So you want to make sure that we have to have a return.
Okay.
Because otherwise they will remove the capital from us and bring it to someone else. Right? So we need to make sure that we should be able to perform.
Okay. So there are many sovereign wealth funds.
Uniqueness. Okay.
Uniqueness. Yeah.
So Maharlika, for its nascent stage, meaning while it's still young, we will be acting like a national development fund. Meaning, like what I said, everything will be invested here. If you look at sovereign wealth funds across the world, many of them have a combination. They invest onshore, but they also invest offshore. So in our case, because the economy requires significant amount of capital, we feel that by deploying the capital onshore, that we will be able to achieve those returns. So in my opinion, what differs us from the others is, in our case, we will be investing solely onshore. That's number one. Number two also is if you look at national development funds, it is quite rare that you will find that in the law, like for example, the Philippine the PPP code, whose implementing rules and regulations were passed only recently. Maharlika Investment Corporation was named as a government financial institution, and as a government financial institution, we can provide services like stable capital to PPP projects offered by government. And so when the government offers it to the public, Maharlika is already playing around. So that is actually, in my opinion, quite unique. As everyone, not all sovereign wealth funds have got that ability embedded in the law to benefit.
I see. Thank you. If you can answer, it's okay, but many of our audiences have a really interesting which particular project or corporation investment is going to invest. So if within you can say, could you tell us more?
Sure. So the pipeline, we're talking about the pipeline. So the pipeline at the moment are all involved private companies. So we will not be investing in the public stock market.
You don't put the money into the public stock market?
No, we will be getting into projects rather than into companies.
Project based.
Yes. We might get into some projects, into some companies. We might use the stock market, for example, if we think that we've identified a company and we want to seek in the company, that we might buy it. Okay, but we don't go there to trade. So energy is certainly the fundamental list. Physical infrastructure is the second one. Agriculture will be the third. Well, I beg your pardon. It's industrial states tapping into agriculture and building industrial states.
I see. Actually, I have a little question about NGCP.
Sure.
Because many of our audience put the money into SGP. Yeah, NGCP. Yeah. So and I had read the news about possibility put the money from Maharika to NGCP. So, yeah.
No. So I actually did not say that. I did not say that we were going to be investing in this.
Okay.
In fact, I never said that. What I said was, we support Speaker Martin Romualdez's suggestion or recommendation for Maharlika to invest in NGCP, which is different from SGP. It's very different. Right? Because SGP is basically the shareholders that own NGCP. If we were to invest, we want to be an owner of SGP directly, not through NGCP, not through SGP. But that's just my personal. So we're not having a conversation with them. I'm only supporting the statement of Speaker Martin Romualdez, but we're not having conversations with SGP.
I see. I think energy.
But it's a great company. SGP is a great company. Yes. So I think from the perspective of your investors who bought it, I think they're in good hands.
I see. Okay. Right. So I think one of the major sector you're considering is the energy sector. So currently, the Philippine economy or Philippine society have a problem of shortage of the electricity and high costs of electricity. So what do you think? What is the real problem of the energy sector?
Yes. So those two issues, you're absolutely right. One would be the high prices, and two, shortage of supply. So the solution is you increase the supply. Yes. So we want to be able to help in building power generation capacity in the renewable space.
I see. So in a renewable power generation area, kind of many private sector, energy or Boeing, they are investing money to this sector.
But not enough.
Not enough.
So same, whether it's electricity or infrastructure, it's not enough.
That's why.
Okay, think about this. The NEDA, National Economic Development Authority, approved 186 flagship infrastructure projects. The value of the flagship infrastructure, those infrastructure projects, is about 9.1 trillion pesos.
9.1 trillion. Okay.
Yes. So there's a lot of capital required.
So still need.
Oh yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So
there's room for everyone.
I see. And other than power generation, we talk about NGCP. They are not the power generator. They are more transmission.
Correct.
What is the problem of transmission?
Well, it took a long time for them to connect the whole country. Okay. So now they've done that. They now have to make sure that the lines are upgraded and that there's enough generation capacity to support, or the storage capacity to support the lines, because all this renewable capacity coming on the transmission line is creating volatility. So not only must you connect the entire country, but you must provide stability or storage to give stability to the lines when volatility comes in. for our masses from those who
I see.
There's a lot of capital.
Okay. So they need more capital to make a.
We need to deploy more capital.
Yes. I see. And also, the transportation infrastructure also very important to the drive economy in Philippines. Our audience have a big attention to the transportation system in Philippines because many of our audience kind of real estate investor. So infrastructure and property value is linked.
Yes.
So we know the big project of the Metro Manila subway project. This is linked with JICA.
Yes.
Yes. We know that. At the same time, we already have attention to in the center of Manila, which is Makati City subway. Recently, we read the news, kind of a municipality dispute. So, what do you think? This kind of project is become the target of Maharika to put money, for example.
Yes.
More local.
If we invite, yes, those projects are the types of projects that we're keen in pursuing. But we're not involved in those projects.
You are not involved. Okay. But this kind of local project is also the target.
Yes. As long as we generate a good return. Yeah, that's important.
I see. Correct. So I think there are so many opportunities to invest. But how do you clarify and actually what team or what is the process to identify and finally decide to?
Sure. So we have a governance that we follow. We're in the investment team, reporting to the CIO or the Chief Investment Officer. Basically undertakes the analysis, the origination of the deals, the analysis and the recommendation. Okay? And the recommendation basically goes to the board investment committee, and the board investment committee then again decides. Then they basically present and they defend the recommendation to the board committee. And then once the board investment committee approves, then it goes to the board. Then if the board approves, then it will.
Who are the
Board investment committee?
Yeah, board investment committee.
So it is chaired by Mr. Andrew Jerome Gan. He's the portfolio manager that I was talking about. He's also an independent director. Okay. And part of the board investment committee would be Ms. Vicky Tan from ADB. And you also have Mr. Reyes, and he's the gentleman from the audit firm. And we've got the two CEOs of the banks.
Okay.
So all part of them. I mean, all of those five are part of the investment. I am not, so I don't sit in any committee as a CEO.
I see. Okay. And the more deal sourcing point of view, so you have a investment team in your organization. Actually, how do they find the opportunity?
So again, I was referring to the 186 flagship infrastructure. So that's public information. So we basically go through that list and participate in the projects which we feel will meet our objectives. That's 186.
186. So firstly, your investment team focuses on reviewing the
sectors. First of all, are derived from the Philippine Development Plan. And then once you identify the sectors and the priorities, aligned it with the Philippine Development Plan, then we look at the NEDA infrastructure projects. Then apart from that, then we have got new projects that are being just submitted to us for evaluation analysis. So sometimes we've got quite a number of, or sometimes we have a few foreign direct investors who come to us directly and asking whether we're interested in co-investment.
Okay. Do you have any idea of the portfolio of Maha Rika investment fund? Maybe and how many percentage, and in the sector, how many percentage?
No, that's still the outside. What I can tell you is we have a risk limit.
Risk limit?
Yeah, so we have a sectoral risk limit of 15%.
15%, the biggest number, 15%, one specific sector.
Correct. Now, we can go overweight or underweight, and the maximum overweight is double the size, so about 30%.
30%. Okay.
Yeah, but then again, it still has to be within the board because this is not being proposed.
Okay. Still discussion. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So finally, I want to ask you about the longer-term plan of Maha Rika investment fund. You said you have an idea to expand Maha Rika investment, meaning that gathering from a different type of capital.
Yes.
Our audience have a really big attention about the Philippines' positioning in under Marcos administration. So because many of our clients have a little bit concerned about the Duterte administration taking a position to the China side. So Maha Rika investment, I think, is take a neutral position and take a distance from the politics. But what idea or to expand your capital in the future?
Right. So the type of investors that we would want to be co-investing with, primarily, we would like for them to bring in technology. So we want them to be able to transfer technology to the local team. We want them to bring in their intellectual properties and apply it here in the Philippines. And we want them to be able to apply their best practices that they've got abroad and basically train people locally in terms of how to execute on these projects. So hence, it's not just the capital, but also the technical.
Or soft asset or either.
Well, basically their experience and their expertise. So not just the capital.
I see.
So, and when we are, we're neutral to any national.
Neutral. So you can talk with Chinese fund or US government. What is the criteria to?
They're actually bringing technology. Yeah, but bringing expertise. Yeah, that's what it's bringing expertise.
Okay. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you. That was helpful. Thank you very much.